Hey there, I'm Brooke Chase, your host and tree hugger new bestie to make your life all things simple. On my new podcast, Simply Be Sustainable, we're on a mission to discover how we can live a more fulfilling life with less. Less stuff, less waste, less clutter, so that we can thrive and experience the things that truly matter and make us happy. Join me as we explore practical strategies, learn with insightful interviews, and I'll share my own personal stories that I hope will inspire positive change. We'll dive deep into topics like zero waste living, ethical fashion, mindful consumption, and honestly, just acting simple. Together, we'll learn how to reduce waste, conserve energy, and live harmoniously with the Queen Bee herself, Mother Earth. If you're ready to begin your journey toward less for way more, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. Tag me and share things you learn, like, or don't on Instagram at simp.lee.be. Simply be, but, of course, was taken by someone that doesn't use Instagram anymore. Or ask me a question. New shows drop every Monday at 8 p.m. Let's live simply, be simple, and simply be. For a greener, brighter future, one episode at a time. All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 4 of Simply Be Sustainable, your new favorite podcast about how to live more with less. How is everybody doing today? I am so excited about today's show. What we're going to be doing today, as you can see, I'm back in my kitchen because I'm sharing my favorite fall dish with you guys. This was a big hit when I had my cooking show, Simply Be Cooking, and it's actually on my website. If you go to simplybe.world, the recipe is also there. But I upgraded it just a little bit, so I think it's even easier. But you could still make it the other way. Like, it makes no difference. So we'll get into that. Basically what it is, it's a fall skillet. So it's got everything in one skillet. So it's like really easy to make. It's really easy to clean up. There's just a couple ingredients. Basically it's kale, butternut, squash, and ground beef. And it is great for, like, if you want some, like, a cozy, quick, healthy, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort food. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a dish I discovered when I did Whole 30. Gosh, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years ago, but I loved it so much. It kind of just became like my go-to recipe when I want, like I said, fall comfort food. So that is coming up. But first, just real quick, let's catch up. So, my life has been absolutely bonkers since the last time I chatted with you guys. I started a new job at the airport, serving. Like, I just, wanted some extra cash. This place is crazy, crazy. And there's so much waste. It is, like, been very painful for me. Everything is, like, wrapped in plastic and single use, and it doesn't even need to be, but I can't make the rules. So I've been struggling with that a little bit. But my hope is that, eventually I could, maybe speak with a manager. It's like a global company. So, it'll take a little while, but I would like to implement some changes. Like, some really simple things would make a huge difference. So, I've been there a lot training. What else? So I also am starting a new business. It's called Simply Be Social. And I got invited so gratefully from a woman that I met on my Buy Nothing Facebook group. And so she invited me to have a table there. But, like, my business doesn't, like, totally exist yet. Like, I've done it, but I haven't necessarily, like, charged people for it yet. But basically it's a sustainable event consultant. That's what I would be. Like I said, it's called Simply Be Social, and it's basically like less waste, more fun. And it's for any gathering, party, big or small. So, the holidays are coming up. So if you're interested in creating a gathering or having a party where you are going to be having less waste and more fun, you can call me and I'll help you make sure that you're doing that to the best of your ability. So if you want to reach me, just find me on Instagram, simp.lee.b. You can go to my website. You can get a hold of me, write a comment on YouTube. There's all kinds of ways. Yeah. So what else? My garden, my little container garden is doing fabulous. I'm going to be having my first harvest with some lettuce. I got all kinds of lettuce growing. So I'll be doing that this weekend. So I'm super excited about that. And in my salad that I'm going to be making is going to be the leftovers of this dish. I'm all about creating new dishes with the leftovers because we don't waste around these parts. Yeah, so that's going to be delicious. What else? Oh, I've been on the hunt for a coffee table and I finally found the perfect one. So basically, my living room is done and I have furnished my entire house on Facebook Marketplace, like thrifting stuff, or this Buy Nothing group. If you are not a member of your local Buy Nothing group, you are missing out. Go to Facebook, type in Buy Nothing, and then like whatever town or neighborhood you live in, and you can only join one. So like you could not necessarily, like if the one that you have, it doesn't have a lot of people, you could pick like the next closest one. But basically how it works is you post stuff that you don't want anymore, and then you say it's a gift. Or if you want something, like you need something, you say wish. And then you could post like a picture of what you're looking for or just describe it or whatever. And they have like gift trains. They have like all these things. But I have literally, I wished for a nightstand. I got 2. I wished for bookshelves. I got like 3 and they all match. It's just crazy the stuff I got. Like it's unbelievable. And it was all free. Totally, totally, totally free. So highly recommend that. But yeah, so I found a coffee table and now I'm just looking for a coat shoe rack bench thing. I'm very excited about that. All right, what else? I got to go to a Savannah Ghost Pirates game, which was so fun. And I mindfully purchased this hat. So I have been wanting an Eagles hat like this, but I was like, oh, word, I'll just get this. And then that way I don't have to buy like a t-shirt, because if it's cold at the ice skating rink, then I'll be covered up anyways. So super stoked about that. And the game was so much fun. When I worked for the city of Savannah, I was at the topping off ceremony, like when they put the top like weight-bearing beam up and like the news was there and everything. And I love hockey because I grew up on hockey. My dad played hockey when I was a kid. And it's just such a fun sport. So I'm like really excited that it's here. If you've never been to a hockey game, like totally go. They're really fun. All right, what else? Okay, so let's get into today's show. So that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys have had a lovely week. And today's show, the simple swap of the week, is inspired by the gift that I had at my table and also today because we're cooking. And also, it's so funny how this stuff happens to me. Mine got confiscated. I'll tell you that in a minute. But so today's simple swap is, instead of single-use cutlery, that you make like your own little mess kit, is what we called it in Girl Scouts. I don't know. But you just get like, reusable fork, knife, plate. I mean, it can be as big or as small as you want it to be, but you can get them on Amazon. This was a really cute, thoughtful gift somebody gave me. This is my one that got confiscated. So I took it to the airport because, like I said, they have plastic everywhere and it was fucking killing me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to bring my stuff. They fucking took my knife because it was serrated. I was like, what do you think I'm going to do with this knife? Come on, dude. It was so pretty. It was like copper. Anyway, but I have these. So this is like a bamboo straw. I got chopsticks in here in case I got Chinese. This is a bamboo fork. We got a spoon. This was the spoon that matched my one that got confiscated. There's a straw in here. There's a napkin. So yeah, so this is one that that somebody gave me. Super cute gift. Christmas is coming. That's a great sustainable gift. And this is what I made. So this is what I gave to, like, you don't have to buy stuff. You really don't. I went to like I thrifted this stuff, and I bought this gold straw because I just kind of wanted a little gold flare. And I just tied them up with a string. I gave these as Earth Day gifts when I worked for the city before. But I just tied them up with a little twine, and there's a fork, a knife, a spoon, and a straw cleaner. And these were like the little gifts that I had on my table. We had to have a gift. And so you can put that in a bag. It's just like a never used like makeup bag. And then this is, a little napkin. So this is your little things. That's your swap of the week. You can keep one in your car. You can keep one at work. Wherever you can easily grab it and go. Keep it in your purse. Whatever. But yeah, so love that. All right, that's your swap of the week. Instead of plastic single-use things that are, I can't even get into it. Anyways, that's your swap of the week. All right. Let's talk about this recipe. So this, like I said, is really good comfort food. You only need a couple ingredients. And so here's the deal with these recipes, guys. So I call them unrecipes because I don't believe in following a recipe because it stresses me out. I don't measure anything. I mean, I don't even really taste it until it's done, but somehow it always ends up tasting good. I suppose I have it in my blood. My mother is a fantastic cook, but I just go by what it looks like. If it looks gross, it probably is. But here's what you need. So in mine, I put half, and this is just for one person, I guess. So if you would want to make I did it that way because it's easier for you to duplicate it for how many people, but this would serve two. This would totally serve two. Actually, this might serve a little more than that. This is a pretty big recipe. I always make the leftovers. So this is like a whole skillet full. But I put half a pound of ground beef. So if you're vegan or you want to use chicken or turkey, or you want if you're vegan and you want to use tofu or whatever else, but you have half a pound of your protein, your meat. And then I used a medium-sized butternut squash. And then a small to medium onion, like a regular, yellow or white onion. And then a whole bunch of kale from the store. And so the rest of the stuff is just spices. So I use cumin, salt and pepper, 3 cloves of fresh garlic. I also used garlic powder for the seeds, just a lot easier that way. Red pepper flakes. You can add some coconut aminos. Cinnamon if you kind of want to make it extra fallish, and chili powder, and I said chili powder and chili flakes. Sorry. Yeah. So this is so easy. So first you're going to preset the oven to 425. Now, when I first did this, I did everything in one skillet. So there's only it's simple. There's only one pan to cook. But I like to roast the seeds. So then I always had a sheet pan or, a cookie sheet as well. So this time I kind of changed it up a little bit, which I think made it a lot easier. So first you're going to set your oven to 425. And then while the oven is preheating, you're going to peel your butternut squash. So the easiest way that I think to do it is to go ahead and cut the top and the bottom off, and then slice it down the middle, flip it over, and then you got a flat thing. You can just real quick peel it. And then you're going to dice it. And you're going to take all the seeds out of the inside just like a pumpkin. So you get a spoon, scrape. So once it's cut in half, scrape the seeds out, and then save the seeds because we're going to roast them. And then you're going to cut it all up and dice it up. All right. So that's your butternut squash. And then after that, you're going to dice up an onion, and then a bunch of kale. So you take the kale off of the middle, hard stalk, and then what I do is I do this with leafy greens and fruit and stuff. I just get a little bit of salt and put it in the water, and then put the kale in there, and it gets all the bugs and stuff off. It's actually kind of crazy when you do it. Just needs to be in there for a couple minutes, nothing crazy. Okay, so then you have your kale. And so you can squeeze it out if you want, so it's not like super wet. All right, so then you're going to take your pan. So, well, you have your cookie sheet, and you're going to put your diced butternut squash on there and your seeds, and then I drizzle them with olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, whatever kind of spices you're going to do. When the oven preheats, you're going to pop them in the oven. Set your timer for like 15 minutes. Set it for 10 just in case, but it'll probably be like 15 minutes depending on like how big your butternut squash is. All right, so then you're going to you can use any like fat you want for your pan. You can use butter, you can use olive oil, but you're going to get your pan nice and hot. And then the first thing you're going to do is put those onions in there. So you're going to cook the onions until they're like translucent. I kind of like to get mine a little bit brown. And then once those are cooked well, you're going to add your meat. So for me, it was the ground beef. I really like it with the ground beef. I just think it's a really good flavor. And then while that's cooking, you can add your spices. And that's like literally the whole thing. Like so once the ground beef is nice and brown, you're finally going to add your kale. I like to chop mine up. You can leave it whole, however you want to do it. And then I like put the lid on. And then once the kale is kind of like nice and bright green and, wilted and cooked, because you don't want it like, hard. You just stir it up, and then you throw, oh, I forgot one of the garnishes. Sorry. I'm so bad with my ADD. Anyway, so then you just mix it all up. So when I put it in the bowl, I like to put the kale on the bottom, and then I put the ground beef on the top. Like I get my little, can you see? You know that spoon with like the tongue things, like the fingers on it? That's what I use. Or a slotted spoon, whatever. So I put the beef in the bottom, and then I put the kale. I'm sorry. I put the kale in the bottom, and then the beef, and then I put the butternut squash, and then I garnish it with the seeds. So good. And then I like to put avocado on the top and some hot sauce or sriracha. I just like spicy stuff. And it's so delicious. It's just so good. And there's like nothing to clean up. All you have is that one pan, which if it's nonstick, pretty much rinse it off and wipe it off. And then that cookie sheet. So it's super easy. It's super fast. And it's so delicious and comforting. I just think it's just a really great fall dish. So that is your unrecipe of the week. So I hope you guys like that. And like I said, you can find the whole recipe on my website. It's simply b.world. And next, you can pair this with it. It goes really great with wine, I think. And I happen to have some right here, so I'm going to take a little sip. But the drink of the week, I usually do a beer. So I'm like a big beer taster. I like to try new beers. But this week, when I was at the Savannah Ghost Pirates game, I had a spiced Bacardi and Diet. Yo, it was so delicious. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever had spiced Bacardi before. I don't know. But it was delicious. So that's my drink of the week. It's very festive. I really liked it. I'm probably going to drink that for Thanksgiving. All right. What else? Oh, my sister's bringing some moonshine for Thanksgiving, so I'm pretty excited about that. What else? Okay. So we did your simple swap. Okay. So this is my simple confession of the week. All right. So I started my compost. I got my bucket off of some guy that like had all these buckets. He must have like a pole cleaning business, and they were like full of Clorox. He had like the number of buckets this man had in his yard was unbelievable. Anyway, but I thought they were really great because they were a little bit bigger than a 5-gallon, and they like screwed shut, right? I can't fucking get mine open. So, I mean, it's like half full. I seriously cannot open this bucket. I cannot get it open. So my confession is that my freezer is has like 3 bags of rotting vegetables. Well, I guess they're not rotting because they're freezing. But yeah, so that's my simple confession. Um, and that unfortunately I've had to use some regular to go coffee because at work, like, we don't have cups. So I have to drink it and throw it away. So I finally brought my cup. So I'm very excited about that. No, no more. No more for me. I can't do it. All right. So that is pretty much the show. It's a short one this week. So I hope you love the recipe. I hope you make it. Please share it. Do hashtag simply be cooking, and that's B with the letter B, and send it to me. I'd love to see and let me know if you think it's good and if you make any changes to it, whatever. I'd love to see it. And so the recap today is just that, waste is really everywhere. And there isn't a lot that we can do about other people's waste and, their habits. But we can set a good example, right? If we just kind of think ahead, if we come prepared, if we have stuff like this in the car, in our purse, wherever, that way, if you go to a place and they only have single use plastics, you can simply refuse and have your own. Um, and I really think that food is better with like a real fucking fork, also. Anyway, so there's that. So just, think ahead, be prepared. We can only do the best we can, but I think that if everybody did sustainable imperfectly, there would be a lot less waste. We all can't be perfect. So think ahead. You can reduce your own. You can you can refill your coffee cup. You don't have to throw away that fork. Also, like, you don't really need a fork for a lot of things. Like, if you get a sandwich, what do you need a fork for? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess cut it in half, but you could just ask the restaurant to cut it in half. The restaurant honestly should cut it in half anyways. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a nice review, join the Facebook group, send me a message, visit my website at simplybe.world. Also, I am hiring someone. So if you're interested in working on Simply Be Sustainable, shoot me an email, brooke@besocial.business. You could drop me a comment and I'll send you my email too, wherever. But I might be introducing a new member of the team next week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for listening. You have no idea how much it means to me to share my simpleness with you guys. Next week on the show, I'm very excited. We are going to show you how to fully stock your kitchen. Okay. So that way, without going to the store, you can totally have people over. Like, my vision is that, like, your mother-in-law calls you and you have not been to the store, and she's like, "Oh, we're coming over in like a half an hour." And you're like, "Oh, great." You're excited because I am going to show you how to have a fully stocked kitchen so that you can simply entertain at the drop of a hat without going to the store anytime, which is going to come especially handy in the holidays or over the holidays. So tune in next week, how to simply stock your kitchen so that you're prepared. It's really just about being prepared. Like, that's pretty much what all this stuff is about. Thinking ahead, being prepared, so that way you don't have to kill yourself running to the store every week to make anything you want to make. If you follow, and there's going to be like a free download too. If you follow this, like, basically you could make essentially most of the things that you want to make at the drop of a hat. So I mean, I actually love going to the store, but I just think it's fun to be able to, like, make stuff without having to go to the store. You know what I mean? I mean, some stuff, of course, like if you're making something new, but I pretty much go to the store and stock up, and then I just get, like, my fresh produce whenever I run out. Or I was going to say it goes bad, but don't let it go bad. I've been really good about that. We're going to have a whole episode on that too. Don't let your food go to waste. It's a good thing not to do. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm very excited for next week, and I hope you'll join me. Have a wonderful week and try to use less of those plastic forks and let me know how you do. All right. Love you. Bye.